There we go. All righty, let's see who all comes in tonight. Lower that. There we go. Okay. All right, hope everybody's doing okay. Yeah, just one in here. That's just probably me. All right. See who all comes in tonight. See how long this lasts. It looks like I got 5 in here. Y'all come on up into the chat room. Let me know you're here. Hey, Daniel, how you doing? Doing pretty good, man. How about yourself? You going to make it to Somerton this weekend, Saturday, for the Duck Fest? Looks like it ought to be a good time if it don't pour down rain on us. TRI Outdoors, how you doing, bud? Doing good, man. Glad to see you here. Hump day is over. That's right. Let's see here. This weekend, I'll be in Somerton, South Carolina. They got the annual Somerton Duck Fest, so I'll be down there watching the duck calling contest. No, I will not enter. I'm not a contest caller, but I hope to see some people down there. I'm kind of waiting on to see who all shows up. Kind of before we get into it, we're gonna be talking ducks tonight, duck hunting, waterfowl hunting, ducks, geese, whatever. See where this goes. Talk about it, ask me a question. Hey, that's cool. Mostly wood ducks. I understand. Well, Daniel, it's a pretty cool. It's a pretty good deal. They have a duck call. They had a fishing tournament. I think it was last week or a couple weeks ago. They're going to announce the winner tonight, Saturday. They got the big event is the duck calling contest. I have no idea who's going to be in there. Somerton is a small town, so they're not going to have a lot there. Probably a couple vendors. Hey, Joe, how you doing? TRI is your weekend's Virginia duck opener, mostly wood ducks. Okay. Hey, a duck's a duck, man. I drove all the way to Kentucky for their opener, for their early season duck season. That's all we shot. Well, we shot ducks and geese. and a bunch of doves, but it was mostly summer ducks or wood ducks. Ended up having a good time with it. Well, if you get a chance, Daniel, it's I think it starts at 9, and I think the winners are announced at either 4 or 5, and then it's over. It's basically over then. Well, I'm sorry you hear you had to take your dad back to the doctor, Bo. I know you've been under a struggle with that. We'll be praying for you. Now, TRI, is this an early season where will you be able to shoot wood ducks, teal, and big ducks, or is this just kind of like a wood duck teal thing? All big ducks except black ducks. Okay. Now, how long does this season last for y'all? This will be your first. I mean, well, yeah. For me, I mean, it's not confusing. We have a teal season. I always call that the first season, and then we have a season during in November for the Thanksgiving week. I call that the second, and then of course, then there's the third season. So that's how I do it. I probably confuse a bunch of people. Just talking ducks, man. We can talk about anything really, just as long as it's about ducks. If you have questions, man, just put them in the comments. Just kind of a question and answer tonight. Um, Hey TRI, I understand what you're saying, man. I love summer ducks too. That for me, they're the best eating duck out there. Um, you cannot. I mean, you can do anything you want to with them. I mean, you can grill them like a steak. You can wrap them in bacon. You can bake these ducks. You can smoke them. You can kind of what I call pot roast them, cook them like a pot roast in a slow cooker, make some cornbread. It's just do whatever you want to with them, and it's just good. Well, Joe, I'm sorry to hear about that, buddy. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. So y'all get the early teal season. I'm assuming it's teal only, and then you're going to get this little short season, 4-day season. Then you get about 2 weeks in November. Then you get from December to late January. That's pretty cool. Before we had a teal season, and many years ago, we had an early October season as well, which was nothing but summer ducks or wood ducks. And they did it. There was a trial thing. They did it for a couple of years, and then they quit doing it. They said we shot too many summer ducks. Yeah, we get a teal or only season. That's really okay. Yeah, I figured it out, buddy. I got fat fingers too. Sometimes I hit the R instead of the T. But like I said, Daniel, we can talk about just about anything, man. So if you got any questions, we can talk tips, tactics, um, food sources, duck calls, guns, dogs, how to set up, what to look for, whatever, man. It's just kind of like a little question and answer. See where it goes. I ended up having to work all day, and I didn't get a really good chance to put something together. So I just kind of decided I'll just do a question and answer. Well, I kind of want to keep it to duck guns, Joe. I know you're into everything else. I know you don't duck hunt, and I understand that. And you do have some weird 22s, from what we've talked about in the past. So it's just kind of, we're just up in the air, man. I'm in a question kind of mood tonight, Been digging around some old literature, looking at some old stuff. Well, Joe, you know how I feel about 16 gauges. I love them. It's my favorite gauge. Not too big, not too little, just right. Well, I'll tell you what, Daniel, that's a pretty good question. How many decoys should you use? Well, and that all depends on where you're at and where you're hunting. I am on a drastic reduction of decoys right now. I'm pretty much selling just about every plastic decoy I have. I've sold the majority of them. I still have, I don't know, 4 or 5 dozen teal decoys that I want to get rid of. I am going to, I'm going to what they call lifetime decoys. Right now, my duck hunting spread for big ducks consists of the following right now. And that is, I got a dozen mallards. I got a half a dozen black ducks. I got a half a dozen green winged teal. Now, these are all in the lifetime decoys. I still have about 5 dozen teal. So if I want to throw some teal out, some more teal out, I still have that. I have roughly a dozen plastic wood ducks that I think I'm going to get rid of as well. But I still have them. And that's usually what I put on my jerk rig. I run a jerk rig with 4 decoys on it. And generally speaking, I put summer duck or wood ducks on them. If I'm hunting really open water, a lot of open, I'll throw some divers in there. I'll throw divers out. I got, I don't know, 4 or 5 dozen diver decoys, bluebills, ringnecks, bufflehead. I got some canvasbacks that I can throw in there. If I'm hunting that, I'll set up a diver spread, and then I'll put a small puddle duck size over there. And it's generally, anywhere from, I used to put out anywhere from 4 dozen, depending on where I was at. I have gone to down all the way down to about 7. And again, it just all depends on where I'm at and what the ducks are doing. Hey, Tina, how you doing? And Joe, I think you're right. They got the same use as a 12, but there's a lot less recoil. Brett's going to go with some sharp Hidden Mallards, but I do have a pretty sick diver spread foam field. Yeah, I mean it's based on your water. If you're hunting open water, the more the better. You got to remember that a lot of people they use 2.5 dozen decoys, and that's from Canada all the way down. So they've been seeing that same amount of ducks. Now I know ducks can't count. I understand that, but you know the spreads are generally the same, and they've seen that all the way down. All right, Joe. So you have different types of materials. Of course, you have your plastic decoys. Some of them are foam filled, lifetime decoys, and I think there's another company I just saw the other day. They are made out of EVA foam. It's about the same thing that your Crocs are made out of. So they're very, very lightweight and they ride the water good. Some of your older decoys can be made out of wood. Some of your older decoys can be made out of cork. I have wood decoys. I have cork decoys. I got, I don't know, three dozen over here. Cork decoys. They're here in the room. Yeah, the wood and the cork was used once upon a time. I like the final approach. That's what they are. Thank you, Daniel. They're EVA as well. They're just lightweight. They're unsinkable. I mean, seriously. I mean, you can put a full load of 6s in them at 10 yards, and you're not going to sink them. They just won't do it. Like I said, it's basically the same material that your Crocs are made out of. Cheap. Listen, man, you get what you can get. You know, let's see here. TRI, I was getting ready to say that. You know, when choosing decoys, understand something. I've been duck hunting for 49 years, and I have gone through a lot of decoys, getting shot up, getting toe up, and what have you. And I just can't. I'm 56. I can't go out and buy 2 dozen decoys. That's $400. I mean, they're about $100 for a half a dozen, and that doesn't include your rigging, for your weight and your line, your string and all. So if you make them yourself, you're still going to spend $30-$40 on a kit. Granted, you can get a dozen out of it, but you're still spending that. If you get them pre-made, you're spending $30-$40. So it's all about the same. And I get it. Not everybody can do it, and that's fine. I actually hey Sunfish, I actually think that we give a little too much credit to ducks when it comes to decoys. I mean, when I was in school, when I was in high school, I mean, we used Coca-Cola balls we painted black. It worked. I'm not saying we didn't have other, real decoys, but we supplemented by using black Coca-Cola bottles, and especially when we were diver hunting. So, you can You got to get what you can get, and they all work. The thing about decoys is how you set them up, where you place them, leave a hole for them to come in, have a place to light. That's what it is. My side, what's going on? Yeah, I got several academy. I probably got 24 Academy brand teal in my shed, and some of them have never been used because they were blue wing teal, and during the early teal season, I would just pick the hens out. That's all I would take with me were the hens. No, we did take them. I did take them. I took all of them with me to Kentucky when I went to hunt with the Binknell bunch, and we used them. We just didn't have any teal. That's a pretty good deal there, TRI. I got you, Joe. So, like I was saying, get what you can get. I mean, if you can't afford them, get what you can. Facebook is a great place after the season to pick up decoys. I'm somebody makes me an offer on my teal, they're gone. I'm not going to ship them. I'm going to be quite honest with you. It just costs too much. So if I got somebody local that wants some teal decoys, I'll be more than happy to part ways with them. They're fully rigged. It's I'm just trying to go to Lifetime, and because I like the decoy, and that's what I was getting to Lifetime. If you can get Lifetime, get them. It's not. I mean, they do have a great color pattern. They're molded to where they look like ducks. They're painted to where they look like real ducks, but they're lightweight. They're indestructible, and you can run over them. You can shoot them. You can step on them. You don't have to worry about them busting. And that's what I do. I mean, to be honest with you, dude, I have a little fund. Every week I put some money into it. And that, during the off season, I put money into this little fund, and that's what helps me, at the end of the year. And El Ghostwolf, how you doing, bud? Appreciate you coming in. So I take this money and then I buy things that I need. I mean, even at 56, I'm doing that. I just can't go, buy a couple dozen decoys anymore. I still got to live. I still got to eat. I still got to pay bills. So I'll just take some money and I'll put it to the side. Don't touch it. And then when I'm ready to buy gear that I need, and I got a huge wish list. That's what I do. I take that money out and I'll send out, $130. I can get a half a dozen decoys. Selling my old decoys has helped. Fishing UK, Glasgow, how you doing? Welcome in. You're what now, Daniel? Did I miss something? My prop. Help me out there. Exactly. Too much that you need. Yeah, that's your problem too, huh? Duck hunting is not a poor man's sport anymore. It used to be. It's a rich man's sport now, and with all the things that you got to do, you don't have to start off with the best. You don't need to start. Hidden decoys work fine, and flambeaus have been working for years. Carry light has been working for years. Avery been working for years. they're all good decoys, but eventually you're going to start, ducks get down in the decoys. You end up shooting a decoy. You end up stepping on one in the boat. You end up busting one or what have you, and you're going to have to replace them. When Lifetime came out, I made the decision that I'm going to start replacing, and I buy them a half a dozen at a time, just here and there. My goal is to get back up to about 5 dozen decoys, but right now I got 2 dozen, so I just need about 3 more dozen. Loving the beer like mine. 1:25 in the morning here. What time there? Here where I'm at, I'm in South Carolina, and it is 8:36 p.m. I had to build a boat blind, find ammo, and a new pair of waders. Hey, listen, my boat's still in the shop. I'm hoping to get it this week. I was supposed to go out of town this week for work. That got canceled, so I'm still in town. And I'm waiting for the guy to call me to get my boat. And I gotta get my boat so I can get my blind on it. I haven't even got my blind on the boat yet. And I got to rebuild it because it got tore up last year, and I have procrastinated so much about it. I meant to fix it when I did my makeover for my boat. And now I'm coming down to the wire, and I only got about 4 or 5 weeks, and the season will be here. You just bought what kind of waders did you get, TRI? Joe, so how many decoys does a person need to duck hunt? Joe, a half a dozen to start off with. Seriously, man, you don't need a bunch of decoys. You will acquire them over the years, over the months, and so forth. It's just because that's when you get into duck hunting and you really get into it, you just want more and more stuff. Go buy you a half, you're up in the Northwest, right? If I remember correctly. So, I mean, a half a dozen mallard decoys would do you fine. Seriously. If you're only going to hunt 2 or 3 times, that's fine. Get you a couple decent duck calls, stuff that, not too expensive. But, I mean, seriously, that's about all you need. Fins and Fowl, what's going on? How you doing? Listen, Joe, I've hunted over one decoy one time. I put one decoy out and shot ducks over it. And I've hunted over 15, 20 dozen before. So it really all depends. It all depends on your area that you're in and how many ducks are coming in. But, I have, like I said, I've shot over one. As it gets later in the year, the later it gets, I start reducing my numbers, and I usually end up with 5 to 7. Yeah, Daniel, I got you. I understand. Yeah, there you go. Fins and Fowl started with 3 decoys that he found. Hey, and it never fails. Every year that I've duck hunted, I'll come across 2 or 3 decoys in that year that somebody lost, or they broke away, or they forgot about, and I'll pick them up. Well, that's cool, TRI. I mean, it just never fails. I mean, um, last year I think I got a bonus. I ended up with six. I got six decoys last year. I was riding around doing some scouting, and I saw a duck on the water, and I stopped, and this thing wasn't swimming around. It wasn't flushing. Grabbed the binoculars and looked at him. It was a decoy. I motored over to it, picked it up, threw it in the boat. Nope. Some people, I mean, they'll get blown out of the boat. They break free. They float off. Um, there's all kind of things that happen. But hey, listen, if y'all haven't already, do me a huge favor and hit that thumbs up button. I sure would appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, it's don't if you want to start, don't go, start off with Facebook Market. They probably won't be able. Nobody's probably trying to get rid of them right now since the duck season is fixing to start. But usually after the season's over, the Facebook Market is a great place to look, especially in your local area, and pick you up some. Um, I've I've picked up decoys at a flea market. I've picked up decoys at yard sales, that kind of thing. You know, people are selling them. I mean, Academy probably sells their decoys are probably the cheapest as far as price wise. They're not a bad decoy. They're just a hard piece of plastic. Um, so I mean, go to Academy Sports if you got one near you. Um, you can pick up a half a dozen for about 30, 40 bucks. I understand TRI. There's nothing wrong with the Cabela Super Mags. I got a pair of Cabela's in my closet behind me. Um, I've outgrown them just because I've gotten fatter, but they've lasted me a long time. Um, I do like the high and dry waders, though. I'm gonna tell you, as far as walking around in them and moving around, um, they're absolutely fabulous. Yeah, you kind of like need to keep them in a climate controlled area, Daniel. Well, that's cool, TRI. Ugly dog, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Appreciate you stopping by. How's that boat coming along, Charles? Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Had to answer that text message. Needs more stuff, but it is lake ready. Okay, cool. Are you going to be hunting with other people on that day, TRI? Or are you hunting by yourself? Well, I can't wait to see when it's done, Ugly Dog. I'm gonna tell you now. I'd like to see what all you've done to it. Can't wait for that next video. Okay, just you and your stepdad. I got you. So it's just gonna be the two of you. I will lend you some my best advice because I have trained dogs in the past. I've had new pups on their first hunts, and what I have done, and it took me a while to figure this out. Um, but as I got older, I started figuring things out and get a little bit wiser. Um, leave your gun at home. Just leave it at home and work your dog. Uh, if you're going to put her on a tree on a stand, get a leash, tie it around the tree. Uh, don't make it so tight that she can't breathe. Of course, clip it to her dog collar. That way they learn not to break until you send them, and just work your dog. And it's really tough. It really is, especially for a youngster like yourself to not get involved in the shooting. But you will appreciate it in the long run because then you won't have to worry about dogs picking up bad habits by breaking and whatnot. Um, so either you leave your gun at home or your stepdad works the dog, that kind of thing. I mean, if you want to carry a gun to shoot, if you got to shoot cripples or whatnot, that's fine. But just you know, keep that in mind that your dog can pick up really bad habits on that first hunt, and they're going to be hard to break if you're not controlling them. So I would, if I got a new pup, if I had one I was taking out opening day, and I had some friends with me that were going to be doing some shooting, I'd leave my gun at home or at least cased in the boat, and I'm not even going to pick it up. I'm gonna work the dog. I'm gonna make sure the dog's ready, and you'll be a lot more you'll be a lot more happier in the long run. And decent fish finder and a depth finder doing some research. Cool. I'm telling you, Daniel. And I'm going on my second season with these. Um, and they're not that expensive to be. I think the price has gone up because cost in general have gone up since January 20th, but we won't get into that. But the costs are going up, but right now they're still very affordable. There you go, buddy. That's good. All right, based on water safety, I'm sure the rules. Not really. Just don't point your gun at people. Keep the safety on. You get ready to shoot. Know what's in behind you. Same thing you do at the range. Big Matt, what's happening, bro? That's right, Tr. It's all about him. That's right. You got it, man. You got it. You got it. That is the biggest piece of advice. I see that all the time. I see people who have good dogs and very good potential to have really good dogs, and they they want to shoot around them and they want to hunt because they want to kill ducks. Well, I got it. I want to kill ducks too, but your dog comes first, and that is a huge thing. Dog always comes first. Oh man, gotta love sweet tea. All right. Well, we've talked a little bit about decoys and dogs. um, this is what Wednesday nights is all about. Just talking about ducks and duck hunting and things. So so I got a question. How many of y'all blow a duck call? Just give me a thumbs up if you blow a duck call, have a duck call, want to learn about duck calls. I got you, TRI. Daniel uses a duck call. You like to learn, but you've never tried it. Hang on one second. Well, I kind of talked about this the other day and got into it and talking to people, but we're just going to talk Mallard calls right now. And the vocalizations that mallards do. And we're talking mallard ducks here. Now, all ducks have their own vocalization of what they do and what each of them means. But we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna talk a little bit about mallard ducks. Now, granted, the mallard hen is who does most of the talking. So, with that in mind, the traditional duck call, is of a mallard hen. Brim Bass and Beyond, how you doing? So, like I said, your traditional duck calls, they're all about the mallard hen. The mallard drake does talk. It has a little whistle grunt to it, and so we're gonna kind of maybe get into what they're trying to say. Okay, and this is my best interpretation from years of duck hunting, reading about it, talking to more experienced duck hunters than me, talking to some biologists and so forth. But a duck makes very simple sounds. A mallard hen, she does a basic quack. Now, I don't know how well this is going to sound in this room. Probably sound terrible because I'm in an enclosed room. But with that basic quack, which to me is probably the most underutilized call there is, that's what you're going to hear doing a lot. Now, you will hear what they call a feed chuckle. It's usually when ducks are when they're in the feeding, they're kind of excited and they're chasing each other and they're feeding and they're just having a good time. And a single duck would sound like, and then you throw in a little bit of a quack to it. That's usually what a single duck would do. Now, I'm quite sure you've all heard of the feed chatter. All right, so I have heard ducks do that, but they're usually when they're flying really high, like they're just chattering amongst each other. The idea for that call is to sound like a whole bunch of ducks feeding. I personally don't do that machine gun style feed call. I'm a I just do the single Mallard hen. But there's another call, and you've heard of highball calls. I never have been able to do it. I ain't even going to try it in here. My wife would probably come in and start beating on the door. But that that really high-pitched highball call. I've never heard a duck do that ever in my life. It is basically just to get their attention and hopefully to swing them by. I don't do that call. I will do a comeback, what they call a comeback call. And it's just a series of quacks, kind of fast, and with a little bit of a rhythm to it. Now, that's just an excited hen. She sees a flock. She's wanting them to come join her, and they're starting to drift away. So she'll get a little excited. Like I said, it's nothing but a series of quacks, just kind of fast. But the call I really want to talk to you about is what they call an incitement call. And very few people that I've talked to actually know what an incitement call is. Now, it is a series of quacks. So you've got the single hen. Speaking of in the blind, just left the blind. I'm gonna take it you were bear hunting, huh, Daniel? So you got it's just a series of quacks. So you have your single quack. And then you have a series of quacks, which are going to be a little bit more drawn out, a little bit faster. And they'll do that too. They'll sit there and they'll just you've probably seen them on video or maybe even heard them in the wild, where that single hen, she's just raising the roof. She's just doing that. But there's the incitement call. Now, late in the year, later in the season, you're going to get a mallard drake. They'll start talking a lot more later in the season. The reason is they're trying to start pairing up. They're going to start wanting to look for a mate. So you're going to hear a lot of this later in the season from a mallard drake. And that is him looking for a hen. Now, if she is willing and able, she will give out an incitement call, which is very, very similar to the basic quack, very, very similar to an excited quack, but it's more, well, let's see. It's more like this. I don't know how to explain it. So it's basically, like I said, kind of with a comeback thrown into it and a very excited, just very excited sound to her. So that's called an incitement call. And these calls, you will hear them a lot more later on in the season. You'll hear something similar to it during the early seasons, during the beginning of the seasons and whatnot, but you won't hear it really is pronounced later on in the season. And like I said, it's just an incitement. She's saying, hey, I'm ready. I'm right here. There, big guy, come see me. So it's just a call to be thinking about. Were you duck hunting or were you bear hunting there, Daniel? Yeah, pretty much there, Joe. Exactly. So it's an incitement call. So, like I said, a lot. I know a lot of people don't use it. A lot of people they do use it, but never knew what it was called. But you'll hear, oh, you were duck hunting. Okay. That's cool. So, that incitement call, it can come in handy paired with a mallard Drake call. And how I would do that is if I had ducks that are they're there, they're close, they're just not quite committed, I will use my mallard Drake call first, and just a series of the grunt whistles. All right, no problem, Daniel. And then come back with that little incitement call with the Mallard Hen Call. Now, what I'm doing there is I'm saying, hey, to all the hens that are flying, there's a drake down here that's willing and able. And then I come back and say with the hen, hey, there's a hen down here who's willing and able. She's looking for a mate as well. So you get the kind of the best of the both worlds. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's right. And get it all braided up. So it kind of will run something. Just kind of give it a little excitement there, just kind of making a little, just give them a little something. And then watch them come down. I mean, and it doesn't do it all the time, but it is something to put in your toolbox to remember and to practice on. Well, thank you, John. So any more questions? I hope that helps you out on the calling there. I need to do a video on calling. I did one once before. It didn't do too well. It didn't do too well. Maybe I need to do another one. But like I said tonight, it's a little Chase, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? I was entertaining the crowd with my repertoire of duck calls. Glad you could show up. Cody from After 5. Have you heard of falk calls? Yes, I have. I used to have a bunch of mallard calls. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later, Chase. I am interested. It'll be a while, but we'll look into it. But I do have an old falk call. Let me see if I can find it. This is the DD7. This is a diver duck call. I have not used that call in a long time. I've kind of like put it up in my collection. But yes, I have heard of fault calls. Andy, what's going on? Smoking Barrels Outdoors. That is a standard load size for a 16 gauge, is 1 ounce. And trust me when I say this, a 1 ounce load of number 5s, either in bismuth or lead, is deadly. As a matter of fact, all my 16 gauge loads for duck hunting are 1 ounce loads, and they're in number 5s. I actually bought some number 7s this year from Boss for my 16, and I'm going to try them out. And I patterned them. I got a real good pattern with them. It's in one of the videos I did. But I can tell you that is plenty. A 1 ounce load is plenty, especially in bismuth and or lead. But even the steel shot that I've gotten over the years all came in a 1 ounce load. It's just standard size. It's just a standard. Yeah, Joe, I am quite sure you can. I personally am not going to do it. Fins and foul. Nothing will beat lead. Lead is the best, by all means. But the second best, in my opinion, in my very humbled opinion, is bismuth. And if you can afford it, it is awesome. Now understand something, I don't shoot ducks outside of 35 yards. So, the closer the better. I prefer them over the decoys or in the decoys. But I'm not going to shoot a duck over 35 yards to begin with. But I do know that with bismuth, I can, just like with lead, I can push it out a little bit further. Yeah, you're right, Daniel. There's some 20 gauge ammo on there. That's 1.1.8. You just gotta remember that different gauges and with ballistics and shot size and powder size, the amount of powder that you put in them all comes into play. And if you've got the recipe perfect and you put a 1 ounce load in it, trust me, it is plenty. It is plenty. I covered up a 30-inch circle with number 5s. I covered up, a 30-inch circle with number 7s, and that was at 35 yards when I did it. And it was a great load. It was a great pattern. So bismuth to lead comparison. Lead is always, like I said earlier, Joe, lead's always going to be better, in my opinion. I do remember the lead days. I was right there, when steel shot first came out, and we hated it. I still do hate it. I never liked steel shot. I just couldn't, bismuth wasn't around, and the recipes for the shells were just not there. And then bismuth also cost so much. It still cost a lot, but it cost even more back then. The loads just weren't right. With steel, it's how fast it is. With bismuth, it's like shooting lead, man. You don't have to have a lot. You don't have to have a huge powder charge. You don't have to have this. You're not looking for that speed that you got to have with steel. Steel is heavier, and as it goes forward, it's going to slow down immensely. So they put a lot more shot in it, a lot more powder behind it to give it that speed, so it'll go a little bit longer. But with bismuth, it is so close to being lead that you can actually drop back down to those lead loads, and it just makes it a whole lot better. Chase, yeah, I know a lot of guys that like heavy steel and they love heavy and heavy X. I've shot them. I've shot heavy hammers. I've shot with steel shot. I kind of like the Black Cloud, the Federal Black Clouds. They did really well in my guns. I've tried those duplex loads before. I've tried them all, and I just came to the realization that you've got to shoot ducks within no. I know Andy loves heavy hammers. We have this conversation all the time. You got to shoot ducks within a certain distance. That distance is 35 yards. Can you shoot them farther than that? Yes, you can, but the chances are you're going to start crippling. When you start doing that, you're losing ducks. Okay, we don't want to do that, right? We don't want to lose ducks. We want to bring these ducks home. The ultimate game is to cook them and eat them. So, I made a conscious effort to shoot within 30, up to 35 yards. I don't want to shoot anything past that. So even with steel, I was killing ducks because, I'm shooting them within a proper range. Now with this bismuth, with the steel, I was still wounding a lot of birds. So I wasn't getting clean kills. But with the bismuth, I have found out the ducks I shoot with the bismuth, they are DRT. I mean, I did not have any cripples on my Kentucky trip. I did shoot some cripples on the water that were shot by other hunters as a backup, but we were just trying to get that duck. But that bismuth is a whole lot. Now, it's like I said, it's a whole lot. It's a lot more expensive. Boss ammo, for example, was it $30 a box, and you get 20 to the box. You don't even get a full 25 load. So it is more expensive. But shoot what you can afford, man. I'll tell you, I'll be the first one to tell you. I like Boss. I like bismuth. I've got some heavy shot bismuth back there for my 16 as well. I love it. But if you can afford it, get it. If you can't, then get the other shells. I mean, just don't try to shoot outside your range. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a heavy shot. No, I bought 2 boxes of 5s and 2 boxes of 7s, and just because I wanted to try them out, and I like them. And when I get the chance and get some more money saved up, I'm going to buy a case of them. It depends on your powder charge, Joe. It all depends on your powder charge. All right. Exactly. You're 100%. You're 100% right, Vince. If you're spending $1.50 per shell, you're going to be more conservative on what you're shooting at. You will be if you've got to spend that kind of money. And I've always been that way. All right, Joe, real quick. During the lead days, when we could shoot lead at ducks, I'm going to tell you what I used for mallard ducks. Now, a lot of people in here are going to look at me like I'm crazy. I used 2 loads. And these are for mallards. I'm shooting big ducks, mallards. We shot 2 3/4 inch number 5s. I did that in my 16 gauge, did it in my 12 gauge. We also shot 2 3/4 baby Magnum 7.5, so the high brass 7.5s in lead. Winchester Western Super X both brands. Winchester Western Super X number 5s, 2 3/4 baby magnums. Winchester Super X number 7.5s, baby magnum high brass. That's what we shot ducks with, and we killed ducks. And lead is lighter. All right, so it's going to travel. It's going to take that full charge what you got, and it's just going to travel. It's going to travel a whole lot farther. And if you look at steel shot, and I don't have any handy, but if you look at steel shot, your powder charge is more, and you have more ounce of steel, because steel is so much heavier that when it flies out, it just dies out. Okay, it's just resistance. Hey, listen. If we can still shoot leads, I mean, I'll be shooting. I'd have continued with 2 3/4 5s and 7.5 6s. You know, I'd still start shooting. That's all I would shoot. I got some steel 6s over here, 2 3/4 6s that I use for water swatting when we cripple birds. You know, I'll grab a handful of those, put them in my pocket. But when I have to shoot steel, when I run out of everything else. Oh man. You're right, Chase. 100%. Just like turkey loads. I have yet to shoot the TSS yet. I just can't see spending $50 for a box of shells for 5. No. You can't, Joe. I'm just saying I have some 2 3/4 6s in steel that I use to shoot cripples. Use my good shot, for kill them in the air. And if I've got to shoot a cripple, I'll just reach down and grab the 2 3/4 6s in steel. You talking about a turkey, Chase? Yeah, I think my longest shot on a turkey was about 60. I mean, I was choked down to super to super full. Hey, Anti, how you doing? Yeah, I shot one. I think it was my farthest I've ever shot was 60. And I was choked way down. Yeah, don't get caught with any lead shot whatsoever. I might have gotten talking too fast and forgot to put steel in there, but I was saying that I had some 2 3/4 steel number 6s for my 12 gauge. And when I'm shooting my 12 gauge, I carry those in my pocket just to shoot cripples. I hope I cleared that off. Yeah, I've never shot it, Chase. I'd like to. Hey, Kathy, how you doing? There you go, Kathy. Oh yeah, listen. I've seen guys take a 410 with bismuth and do some crazy shots on ducks. Things I would have never tried. You would be in all kind of trouble, Joe. No lead shot whatsoever. No buckshot, no slugs, no nothing. That is a good built lanyard. I'm going to tell you that. Guys, if y'all don't know, this lanyard that I have is from Flatwood Lanyards. Kathy Henson, her and her husband David, they're the ones that build these lanyards, and you'll never find a better built lanyard. I have been on the search for a good lanyard, and I finally found it with Flatwood Lanyards. I'll tell you the truth. I got two of them. I got two different lanyards. I got a duck strap. Yeah, TR. I know a lot of guys that do that, do the same thing. Well, Andy, while you're ordering, I could use a decoy raft and some more lifetime decoys. I'm just saying, if you need to order a few things. They're not going to have so much of a fit you carrying a pistol, because the chances of you using a pistol on a duck is slim to none. But you can't, if you're hunting with a shotgun, you're hunting ducks, you can't have any lead whatsoever. Kathy, did you see that? Let me put this up. Whoop. Kathy, you see that? Chase is a good friend of mine as well. Oh, from Flatwoods. All right, well, let them know that you. Oh, wait a minute. Here, I need to order a few things from Flatwoods. There you go. Joe, yes, it is very silly, but you have to understand what the game wardens look at, and you cannot have any lead while you're waterfowl. Now, a handgun something totally different. You could probably get away with that, but if you have double aught buck or slugs, you're going to get in trouble, brother. Yeah, Kathy, Chase has already hit you up from what I understand. And Andy from Smoking Barrels will probably hit you up here soon. Oh, did you see that, Chase? They're waiting on your reply, sir. All I can tell you, Joe, is be very careful. Well, it's just rules, man. I mean, we have a certain area that I hunt that I can't carry a 22 rifle. Can't have center fire or rim fire on you while you're hunting. So exactly. There's a couple things that I don't do in life. I don't mess with bears and I don't mess with sharks. We're always talking duck hunting here or there, John. That's what In the Blind's all about. I don't think they'll mess with you if you got a pistol on you, Joe. But if you have, but I would not carry anything you put in your shotgun. If it's got lead in it, I would not carry it. You could probably get away with having a pistol. That's what they say, Fins. So, Cody, did we sit in the stand tonight, or did you give it a day off? No, Tiara, they came out with non toxic shot. Uh, there have been reported cases. I personally have never seen one, but they have reported cases of ducks ingesting the pellets, thinking it was seeds on the bottom of these lakes and marshes and whatnot. Um, that shot will go into their gizzard. They'll eat sand. They will the lead shot will dissolve in their gizzard over time, and then they would get lead poisoning and eventually die. So it is a um, so it was just kind of a way of conservation, so these ducks wouldn't die of lead poisoning by ingesting the pellets. And go to the page and pick out a set. I owe you one. Um, I tell you what, Kathy, why don't you pick me out a set, neutral colors, send it, and once I get it, we may do maybe a giveaway with it. How's that? How does that sound? I'll do a giveaway on my channel. And it'll be a giveaway from both of us. Okay? It'll be a giveaway from Flatwood Lanyards and me to whoever wins. Exactly, TRI. Exactly. Sharks or wimps, and I can't wait to shoot a bear. And it's the only two things in the world I'm afraid of. Well, thanks, John. I appreciate that. In case y'all don't know, I got a new address. I'll go ahead and post it up in here. You can find it in my about page as well. And the Discovery doesn't do Bear Week. Well, I don't know what you're getting, Chase, but it's basically you're going to get a very thick neckband area. I don't know what kind of drops you're ordering or what kind of drops you ordered, but this man, I'm telling you, you wear it for about 3 days straight, and you've broken it in. That ain't even right, John. Question: what are some of your dream places or bucket list places and species of waterfowl? All right, places I would love to hunt: the Dakotas. I have yet to be to the Dakotas. I've always wanted to hunt the Dakotas, just to go up there. I would love to go back to Canada. I've been to Canada. I would love to go back, but as long as they have a jab in the arm rule and they want a jab in the arm passport, I'll never go back. Species I'd like to shoot. My number one list is tree ducks, furvolous, whistling tree ducks, black bellied. Any one of those I have yet to shoot. I've seen them, I've just never shot one. And a full plumed cinnamon teal. That would be my dream. I have not shot those yet. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to shoot some Harlequin in Alaska. I'd love that opportunity. It is a distant bucket list, but the whistling tree ducks, I'd like to get a nice one to have mounted. I really would. I think they're beautiful ducks. They're very unusual, and I'd have to go out west to the Pacific Flyway to shoot a cinnamon. But I'd love to shoot a fully plumed drake cinnamon. Welcome back, Joe. Yeah, as far as I know, fins are all on the west, out west, on the Pacific Flyway. Harlequins are very beautiful ducks. I would love to shoot one. I would love to have one on the wall. Well, I hope you get it this year, buddy. Let's see here. Well, Joe, you have to understand the reason they went, and I think you were gone when I explained this. When people shoot lead shot in the marsh, that lead shot goes to the bottom, swamps, marshes, lakes, whatever. The ducks, when they're feeding, because they are, they tip up and they sift through the mud and whatnot, they can't differentiate between a lead pellet and a seed. So they would pick these lead pellets up and it would go into their gizzards where it would take a long time for it to dissolve. But once it did, that lead would get into their bloodstream and they would contract lead poisoning and they would die a very bad death. So in order to stop that, they had to go to a non-toxic shot. Non-toxic being steel, bismuth, tungsten. Right now, there's only 3 that are out there that I'm aware of. And as far as holes, exactly what John said. Holes are a result of lazy people who don't pick them up. Now, I wouldn't mind going up to where Backwoods Barbarian lives up in New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and that area, and hunt black ducks. I think that would be a cool hunt. But again, if I got to get jabbed and have a COVID passport, I'm not going. I'm not going to Canada. Oh, wow. I don't know, Fins, but if you take, and I'll get with you in a minute, Anton. I'm trying to think of that. Fins, if you go back into my playlist, I spent a better part of a day at my boat, at a boat landing, picking up trash. I picked up about 5 bags of trash. I even got a boat battery and threw it in the back of my truck. They're talking 410 earlier. Woman, 85 plus years old, getting a circuit judge. Oh, a judge. Okay, I got you now. And man, with long grain crack shot. Well, I mean, if she's getting I'm assuming you're talking about a judge pistol. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Um, you know, 410, 410 buckshot. I wouldn't use a pistol on ducks, but if it's a pistol you're talking about, yeah. I mean, it'll. If I'm not mistaken, the judge will take a 45 long Colt and a 410 shotgun shell. Just get buckshot. Well, that's your mama, dude. You got to do what your parents tell you to do. Sorry, I can't help you there. Okay, I thought you said something about a crack shot on foul or something. Maybe I misunderstood what you were saying. Jeremy, what's going on, Bubba? Are you back? Are you back from out west? You home now? Andy, if you I don't know if you saw the message, but get a hold of David and Kathy Henson about that stuff. You're in Texas now. Okay. Yes, I did, John. That was a nice help. What gun do I shoot? Okay, I have several. I have a Belgium Browning 16 gauge that I shoot a lot. I have a Remington 1100 16 gauge that I shoot a lot. I have a 20 gauge 1100 that I love to shoot. I've got a 12 gauge Benelli, one of the original Super Black Eagles that I shoot a lot, shoot often. And I've got a Browning silver that I shoot quite often. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did, John. Yeah, I've got an 870 Super Mag in the cabinet as well. I just don't shoot it that often anymore. Tina Ladybug, how you doing? Cecilia, how you doing? man. Been a long day, folks. Okay, Daniel. When I was younger, my shoulder could handle the 12 gauge. As I've gotten older, a combination of my shoulder just can't handle all the pounding, but also it's just a lot. It's just a lot of fun because I don't shoot ducks outside of 30, 35 yards. It's just a lot more fun to shoot these birds with a 20 gauge or a 16 gauge. Now, I have shot a 16 gauge pretty much all my life, and I love it. I had to quit shooting them because the steel shot that they came out with just wasn't doing the job, and I had to use my 12 gauge. But once they reformulated everything and started with bismuth again, because I'm not putting steel through my Belgian Browning, never going to do that. I'll only shoot lead or bismuth out of, because it's an older gun. It's just a lot of fun, dude. It just gets sporty. Now, I did not shoot now I took my 20 gauge with me when I went to Kentucky. I shot doves with it. I did not take it duck hunting because we were getting a lot of rain, and it's a really nice gun, and I just didn't want to have it in the rain. It's got wood forearm and stock. I just didn't want to have it out in the rain. I didn't take my Browning 16 because I knew we were going to get rain. So I took my 1100, which is synthetic. So. Yeah, he did see. Yeah, they did. It was a really good video. Yeah, Chase. As soon as I get my boat back, Nab's got my boat too. He's working on it. Yeah, Mossberg 835. Man, they made a good gun. They made a really good gun. I owned one for a while. I enjoyed it. I was actually out duck hunting one day on the coast, met up with a guy at a boat landing, and he liked it and he wanted it. And I'm going to tell you right now, he wanted it real bad because I went and bought a brand new gun that afternoon. So that's the reason I don't have mine anymore. All right, man. I'll get with you about that. All right, guys. I think I'm going to call it an evening. I've been up quite a while. I do got to work tomorrow morning. I know I got 13 of y'all in here, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys coming in here and talking. And this is what I enjoy doing. I love getting questions and I love answering them. But I am going to call it a night. I got a few things I need to do before I do go to bed. But again, guys, I appreciate each and every one of y'all coming in here. If you haven't, I just posted a video this morning, the Kentucky hunt. We were on a goose hunt. So if you haven't, please go and see that. Before then, there was a very interesting wood duck hunt. If you please go and watch that video as well. I sure would appreciate it. But in the meantime, we will see y'all next Monday night. And y'all take care. Have a great evening. Have a great night. And we will see y'all next time on Daddy Duck 365.